Hello fellow book nerds! Today we're talking about a TV show, and that TV show is Shadow and Bone. So, if you have been living under a rock, the new Shadow and Bone TV show has just premiered on Netflix, and it is based on the Leigh Bardugo's Shadow and Bone trilogy and the Six of Crows duology, and I believe maybe eventually we'll get all the other books. This show has been rocking the book community. I think everyone was incredibly excited to see what they're gonna do with it. Are they gonna make a good show that is just like, you know, gonna live up to all the hype and interest people that are maybe not fans of the book? Or is it gonna be one of those studs that we book nerds just watch because we're loyal? But it's trash. I have some examples for that in my mind. But yeah, let me just tell you a little brief synopsis. So basically in Shadow and Bone we follow Alina Starkov, who's a map maker and lives in Ravka, and Ravka has these people called Grisha, and Grisha have like magic abilities, but they call it small science, and depending on what kind of Grisha you are, you have different abilities. You're there with me. Okay, so Ravka has this thing called the Fold, and it's basically this like barrier made out of shadow that has like these creatures inside it, and basically if you go into this fold you're very likely to die because the creatures will eat you basically. So one day Alina Starkov, the map maker, is on a ship to cross the fold because they have to like communicate with the other side of the country, and they get attacked. She releases this beam of light from herself which just dissipates the shadows and kills the creatures, and everyone believes that she is what they've been waiting for, which is a summoner, which they believe is a saint that's gonna save all of them from the fold. So to answer the question, did it live up to the hype? Was it bad? Was it good? It was good. It was so good. It was better than the book in my opinion. I enjoyed the show so much. As a show, as an adaptation, I think it does everything that an adaptation should do. It fixes mistakes, it irons out the creases, and just makes everything just that bit smoother, better storytelling with the hindsight that we have because the whole trilogy's out, you know, the author had some time to like think on it, whatever, and I think it's just so much better than the book because the books I enjoyed, but I'm not like a die-hard fan. Six of Crows I definitely liked more. So like I said, I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. But the show, I loved it. I think it was such an improvement on the book because they fixed all the things that were annoying me a tiny little bit, and they just made it so much higher stakes and just interesting. But at the same time, they were very, very loyal to the book content at the same time. So it was a weird combination of sticking to the source material but making it that much better. It's totally an amazing adaptation, and if you have not watched it yet, I would totally recommend. Even if you haven't heard of the books, it was a really good show just by itself. That's pretty much for the non-spoiler section. Now I'm gonna dive into each character and all the things I noticed, all the things I wanted to talk about. So if you've not read the books and you've not watched the show, maybe you should go away because we're talking spoilers. Just the first book and the show. So first I just wanted to mention the production value. I think it was just so well done. It was beautiful, clearly done with so much care. The CGI was pretty good. I was quite impressed actually. There was no like moment that I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, CGI was just trash. Sometimes, you know, even in good shows, sometimes you got those moments you're like, oh wow, I think someone ran out of budget. But not this show. I think they did a very good job, and the costumes as well. It was a lot like what I imagined because, you know, Ravka is based on like kinda Russia. So definitely we got those vibes, and I think the way the kaftans were made, the costumes, the makeup, the sets, all brilliant, all how I imagined. Really, really, really well done. The only piece of wardrobe I didn't like was Darkling's weird massive coat, okay? But that's it. Otherwise, I thought it was really, really, really well done, and clearly with a lot of love and care, and that was really awesome to see. So let's talk about Alina, shall we? I have this thing where I don't like main characters, especially in books, and I definitely didn't love her in the book. I thought she was rather annoying, but they really, I think, put some like spunk in Alina. She definitely has way more agency to choose for herself, even when you consider the first episode when Miles is supposed to go into the fold and she decides to burn the maps so that they have to take the map makers. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case in the book. They were just both chosen to go through the fold. I might be wrong though. I have read the books like 2 years ago. And even with the agency thing, even the fact that she was the one who kissed the Darkling first, when I said the Darkling, I mean the Kerrigan general. Even the fact that she kissed him first, again, like more agency, more just like decision-making power in her own life, and you could definitely see that from the beginning, that she was the one that like grabbed left Mal to run away. She was the one that cut her hair, and you know, she was just way more active in her own story, which I really appreciated. I really like seeing her have some friends in the little palace. There were the two girls, I don't know their names, but the two girls, I think that was really cute to see. I mean, and we didn't really get any development from these people, so they're more like props, but it was still good to see that she like got along with people, and you know, like they weren't all mean and whatever. And again, yeah, I really liked the relationship there. Seeing that friendship was perfectly translated from the book, in sense that Genya was such an important person to Alina, and how Alina really took her confidence, really trusted her, you know. The betrayal at the end stings even more because she really put a lot of faith in Genya and a lot of trust in Genya. Something that I added that wasn't part of the books was the fact that Alina was part Shu, so she was actually mixed race. And I think that's a very difficult one because obviously I don't have a personal stake in how it was executed, and I don't really have a personal say, so it would definitely be interesting for you to check out some On Voices reviewers that were also Asian and see how they reacted to it. I read a couple of threads and it seems that it had a very mixed reaction, and like a lot of people actually didn't like how it was handled. Even I thought it was a little bit strange how Alina got so much hate and she was picked on so much and bullied and like really discriminated against because she was part Shu, which is coded Asian, right? So yeah, there were a couple like slurs and stuff thrown her way, but then I feel like other characters of color were not treated that way, and it's something again that someone pointed out on a thread that I read as well. It was just like, not even Mal, he's also part Shu, but he's like accepted and liked, and we never see, except for when they were little, we never really see any hatred thrown towards him, and like she gets rejected food but he can still eat. Like, it's a bit strange. And there we have black characters and Indian characters, and although they get certain amount of hostility, it's never as visceral as Alina. And the thing there is, the Shu country, or whatever the full name was, they're not the main antagonist country. It's the West Ravka, I think it's called. So there's another country that's like the main, you know, the main antagonist. So we learn a lot about that conflict. But we never really learn why we hate the Shu so much, or like what did the Shu do to Ravka. It seems like they're not really part of the war as much as the other countries. So why such visceral hate from the Shu? And they even have the posters, you know, with the like caricature of an Asian person. It just like seems so visceral, but we never hear about the conflict. And then there's also the fact that there is like the fantasy version of discrimination, which is when you're Grisha, which means that you have magical powers. So people are discriminated against because they're Grisha, like the Fjordans, for example. So they're like hand down Grisha and like put them to death basically. But like then we have real world racism on top of that. So it just seemed really like it was a little bit clunkily done, at least in my opinion. But like I said, I'm not really the person to speak on this, so I would really look for some On Voices review. I'm gonna try to find some and put it in the description box. Let's talk Alina and the Darkling. So I actually really like the relationship. I was never a huge Darklina, or whatever you want to call it, fan, because I already knew the Darkling was evil when I was reading the book. Like, I'm pretty sure I got spoiled for that. So I never really fell for his bullshit because I knew. And I guess it's the same with this show. But I must say he was really way more convincing, because I think in the book, granted, I already had the knowledge that he was no good and he was the Black Heretic. So I never really found him that like charming or like swoon-worthy. Like, I still liked him more than Mal, and we're gonna talk about Mal in just a second. But the Darkling himself, I don't know, I was never that sold on him. But in this show, I kind of see where people are coming from. I think it was a perfect dose of he's still a little bit creepy, and there's still a little bit of that. Like, can you trust him? He seems a bit weird, but also there's enough of that. He is really a little bit charming. He seems like a wounded boy that you want to save, you know. It's a bit of a mix of those. So I was actually way more into this whole Darkling Alina ship. We know that he didn't really love her. It's more about power and control. But I think, again, Ben Barnes, I think, did a very, very good job of just making him sympathetic, maybe a bit swoon-worthy at the same time, but still a little bit creepy, and still, like, maybe you want to keep your distance because you're just brooding, walking around in black and like biggest coat and just like unsettling, and like he seems dangerous and he seems like he's in power. And I actually like seeing his origin story, seeing that he was in love and his lover got killed, and that drove him even more towards like, I'm to save Grisha, and then his actions just inadvertently, I'm still a bit like fuzzy on the details, but it seems that he helped the kings like fight a war with his shadow powers, but then that scared the king and he was to prosecute Grisha, which is kind of like a double-edged sword, because if he didn't help, then they wouldn't see value in Grisha, but he did help, so now they're scared. So this seems like the king was a bit of a cunt, really, and he was just really put the Darkling in a really hard situation. And we do see that he didn't really want to like create the Fold as a fold, but he just wanted to turn those people to like fight for him because they were so outnumbered, and it seemed like the people really didn't even know how to fight because they weren't an army at that point. But we can see then how he changed them over the years into the second army, and why he felt that was necessary, because he kept saying how he's going to teach them how to fight, to give them the power to like empower themselves. I don't really see how people can be like, yeah, Darklina, when he literally like put her in chains, put this freaking thing into her body, like took control of her powers, and he kept like slapping her around, not literally, but just like, you know, on that ship. So I understand that he's dark and brooding, and is it Ben Barnes, so you're gonna fall for him. At the same time, toxic. And that's why in the books I was team no one, but if I had to be team someone, it'd be Nikolai, not him. But still, I get the appeal, I really do. I think if Alina was a bit more power hungry, they'd be a really good combination together, but she's not. I just really liked how that whole relationship worked, because she was like, if you wanted us to be working together, you could have had all that, because she was like properly smitten with him. He could have had that if he made her equal, but he instead decided to take control of her and take ownership over her. So yeah, that's not a healthy relationship, and I like that she pointed that out. Overall, yeah, like I said, Darkling, I think really well executed. Ben Barnes knows the assignment. He is the assignment, and he clearly really loves the series because he kept posting things on social media and like, you know, about the books and reading the books and all of that. So we love to see it. We love someone who loves the character and loves the material, or at least respects the material, to be performing this role. So I mean, all the actors I really think were pretty good. I mean, I just have this love for Ben Barnes from Narnia. I think we all do. I love him. I've loved him since then, and I still love him. So what are you gonna do about it? Now the pièce de résistance. The issue of Mal, that's what I'm calling this section, yes. So, my relationship with Book Mal. I hate him. I think he's absolutely the worst. There's many things I dislike about him, and a lot of those things actually happened in books 2 and 3. So this book I don't remember hating him as viscerally as I ended up hating him. But main things I didn't like about him were the fact that he, in the book, it feels like he never really paid attention to Alina until everyone else paid attention to her, aka her powers and how she became so powerful, and he always had such an issue with it. He really did not like her being powerful. He did not like her having a power that he doesn't have. It just felt like he wanted to control, and he wanted her to be brought down to his level because he was basically useless, so she should be useless as well. And it just felt always to me like he was a little bit abusive in that sense, that he always guilted her for any time she expressed any kind of desire for power. He just guilted her. Anytime she took pride in her power or she felt empowered by it, he just brought her down right there to him. And again, I think that was more second and third book than this one. But honestly, I can say for me, this, so far at least, this first season, they fixed Mal. They fixed the problems I had with him. It doesn't seem that he's gonna go down that route. I think that was necessary because of how many people hate Mal, and I think for very good reasons. He's just so unhealthy in the books. I really don't like seeing them together. Like I said, I wasn't that big on Darkling anyway. It's not like for me like a ship core where I'm just like, oh yeah, go with Darkling, with the dark brooding one. I just think that both of them were not good for her for different reasons, and Mal was just so gaslighting and just like guilting into getting what he wants because he couldn't just fathom his partner being stronger than him. At least that's my personal view of Mal in the books. I think they fixed a lot of those problems. He clearly really cares for Alina from the get-go. He doesn't like sleep around as much, although that was never my problem that much. Like, that's fine if you don't realize you're like in love with your best friend and you just like have a couple other girls. That's fine, that wasn't really my problem. But for me, the problem was that he was just so mad that anyone else could see her how he sees her, and I think that's not really the thing with this Mal. Grisha woman scare me, that was something he said, and I wrote, truer words have never been spoken. But I think that's true of book Mal, but not necessarily the show Mal. The show Mal really cares about Alina, and I think seeing his journey from when she was taken to when they reunite because he's the tracker, that made all the difference, because we see how hard he's trying to get back to her, how he's writing all these letters. Like, we don't just see Alina constantly trying to get in touch and him not responding, we see his side of it, and I think that's two sides to it. On one hand, that made me like Mal so much more. I care for him so much more. I think he actually tries so hard, and he's kind of like worthy of her in that sense, because he did everything he could to get back to her, and that's really clearly shown. On the other hand, what was cool in the books is that we don't really know what's happening with Mal, and we're just there with Alina and losing faith in him slowly because he's not responding. So not getting his perspective there, I see the purpose of it, but I think this just helps because people hate Mal so much that this really emphasized that he cares, that he always cared, and not just when he sees the Darkling give some interest to Alina, suddenly he's like in love, right? I loved his friends. I think they were such great characters. I was so upset when they died. I thought that was real shame, but it shows how much he went through for Alina, and like, I don't know, him having friends that were that devoted and that good just showed, you know, he's a worthy person of love and devotion from really cool people. So I think that was really good. I don't remember him having friends, or at least the friends being as distinguishable to me as these guys. I mean, I still don't remember the names, but I could like point out their friends, but I like those guys. I don't know, him and Alina, even though he's so much better, so I guess I'm fine with them together, I still don't get those vibes. I just feel like they're siblings to me. I don't know, it just feels like because they grew up together and they were always together there, it just feels really like familial, like they're only family each other has. And I guess it can turn like romantic in these situations, but that's how I see them, how they're only family each other has, so they care about each other so much, and I just don't feel this chemistry. I don't know, I did feel it with the Darkling. I don't know if I feel it with Mal, but I guess I can survive it in this instance at least, because I remember reading the books being so angry, just so angry every time Mal came up, his name came up, I was just so angry. And at least this I can stop, even if I'm not like 100% on the ship, I can still appreciate it. I really think that was the biggest change they did, at least for me personally. That was the biggest thing I hated about the books. Alright, next section is the Three of Crows. Did you like what I did there? I liked what I did there. Anyway, so the Three of Crows, oh my god, I don't know what to tell you. I love them so much. They're literally taken from the books. I love Six of Crows so much more than I love Shadow and Bone. I just think they're better books in terms of like writing, characters, all of that. But there were later books in Leigh Bardugo's career, so it's understandable. So I just love them so much. Kaz, exactly how I imagined. I wrote in my notes, Kaz sounds like a child, but he acts like one, so it's appropriate. Kaz was just perfect because Kaz is a big child, and that was just really well portrayed. I think personally it's exactly what I imagined him as. I think the actor did a very good job. It's just a child that needs like therapy. Inej, amazing. The actress was just so good. She captured the spirit of Inej so well. Really understood what the character was about. She really understood what the relationship, they all understood what the relationships between characters were, and I think they did a very good job. I love that scene where she sees Alina do the show and she was just like, you know, praying. Also, I was like, oh my god, did we know that she already killed 2 people, or is this like a retcon? Because I know she was like pretty against killing, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I don't know if she like okay with it. I don't think she's okay with it. And Jasper, oh my god. Was Jasper like this in the books? I literally don't remember him being like that, but Jasper is my favorite character out of the whole series. I swear to god, Jasper was so funny, so cheeky, so confident, just so amazing, and like so captivating. I don't remember being so in love with him from the book, but maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, I don't remember. But I just thought the actor did a great job of like being this cocky but like really caring person, and just how much he cares about Kaz and how much he cares about Inej. I loved it. I loved the goat. I love the goat. I love everything about that whole thing. I love how it all came full circle because the goat gave the bullet to Mal so that he could escape. I love that the crows ended up getting involved, because I thought they wouldn't, because, you know, if we're sticking to Six of Crow like lore, then they never mentioned meeting Alina or whatever. I don't know if we're retconning it slightly or whatever, but I'm completely fine with that. I think adding Six of Crows was a brilliant move. It really padded out the show. I think the show would have been a little bit lacking without it, and I think although the first 2 episodes I kept feeling like the scenes with Six of Crows characters really felt like a different show, because it was really like, oh, just like ketted around, like, you know, like the City of Sin, whatever. It just felt a bit different than the other bits. In the end, it all flew perfectly together. I love that they had a really big part in the finale, that they know Alina now. I really hope they get involved with the 2nd and 3rd season and how many seasons we get. Yeah, I thought it was a brilliant move to bring them in, especially because people love Six of Crows so much more than they love Shadow and Bone. I think that's the general consensus, but don't quote me on that. At least I think that the people really, like, I know people really love Six of Crows and those characters, and I think bringing them from 1st season like from the get-go was really smart, because you're getting those people involved in your show from the get-go, so you get the support. Which brings us to Nina and Matthias, and that one, was it as necessary? I'm not sure. I think you need to include it just to get to know Nina and Matthias and to like fill the crew, but I don't know, it just felt like so rushed to me. Us seeing Matthias with the crew and like actually capturing Nina and the conditions that she had to be in, the hatred spewing towards her, I don't know, it just made me a little bit less inclined to be on this ship, and never really loved them that much, but still it just rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. Then it just felt so abrupt when they actually changed and they fell in love or whatever. It was just felt so quick, like you had a laugh one time and now they're planning their life together. It just, we either skipped a lot of development there, or it just some like logical gaps. I know we're just getting there so we can finally get to Six of Crows plot, I think, but and then Nina, I thought the actress did a really good job at portraying Nina's personality. I can't fault her for that. I think she did a really good job of bringing the spunk and the zest that Nina is. But I know there was a lot of criticism because of her casting, because she's not a plus size actress. And I did notice that they tried to make her look like a little bigger. It feels like the dresses were like a little bit padded. Is that just me? Like, I feel like that was what they were doing. They were like padding the dress to make her look bigger. And I know the actress made some like not good comments. I don't know what they were exactly, but I'm pretty sure they were a little bit fat phobic, and I know she's trying to like lose weight and stuff. And I know how important it was to people for Nina to be plus size, like proper plus size, because there's not that much representation, especially since she's such a powerful and prevalent character. That really sucks. Again, I'm not really like speaking from a personal stance here because it's not my place. I wish they could have hired a plus size actress for it. I'm sure there was someone else who would have captured Nina as this actress did, but they cast this actress and I thought she did a really good job. Okay, let's move on to other characters, so their main characters. So Genya, I really liked her. I think the actress did a really good job. I think we could have gotten maybe a little bit deeper into how important beauty is to her, because it's kind of important in later books. But I think overall she did a really good job. Alright, so then we also have, okay, David. He was in the show so much less than I expected him to be, and that was a bummer, but I think he did a good job. I mean, again, David's not supposed to be handsome, and that actor is handsome, let me tell you. I watched Skins as a child. I was in love with Freddie, okay? I'm pretty sure his name's Freddie. I was in love with him, like, he's handsome, okay? So I get why Genya has hots for him. But in the book, the whole thing was like, she was so beautiful, and she fallen for the guy that was like nothing special in terms of looks, but his personality was what drove her to him, and his kindness, and I think that was getting a little bit lost in translation. So yeah, again, quite a good job. I really hated it in the beginning. I liked her by the end, just as I did in the books, so, you know, pretty true to her character. I don't remember her having like family and her being that much of a prevalent character at the end of the first book. I thought it took her a bit more than one book to come around, but I think the actress did a good job. She's really pretty as well, and good actress, so cool for her. Alright, so I just wanted to talk about the ending because I feel like that's where a lot of kind of changes that I noticed. Of course, all of Six of Crows was changes, but this is like just changes to the ending. First thing first, in the book, wasn't it like David put the antlers on her and just weld them shut like in the back so she couldn't take it off? But I don't remember him putting it like inside her collarbones. That was really freaking grim, and it just looks gross. I mean, I guess this is more extreme because she had like this physical manifestation of what the Darkling's willing to do to her without her consent. Like someone just freaking weld antlers to your collarbone. That is pretty extreme. So I understand why they did it, but am I remembering wrong? I thought it was just a necklace. But yeah, it's gross as hell. It's just like picking out. Oh. Yeah, like I said already, I love that the crows got involved towards the end and they actually had a bit of a role to play, and I really liked them seeing Walking with Mal. I was like, yeah, 4 of crows, you go girls. Although I love that, the ending was a bit underwhelming to me because, you know, Alina was like, you can control me. This is what I've been this whole time. And she's like, BAM! But like, she does nothing. Like, she just does what she's done before, so it's not like it's impressive. Like, she's already done this tunnel. I know she's done it with the Darkling, but she already expanded the thing when it collapsed a little. And she's like, this power is mine, brah! And she just does the same thing she's done before. It was very anticlimactic. I didn't really understand where we're supposed to be impressed, because I really liked her, like, getting up and being like, I'm spunky, blah, 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 blah. I like that, but were we supposed to be impressed by that outburst of power? Because I was not impressed. But I thought it was just a bit like, okay, girl, just sit down. And at the end, when the Darkling came out of the fold and he was like, follow me, and the shadow thingies came out and it's like shadow giants. Love that. I love that. That was really, really cool. I don't remember him having shadow giants, so like, I guess it's the Volcra, I think. Or is that like his, well, he used to fight the Volcra, I don't know, but he had like scratches on his face. I wonder if that's gonna stay. I mean, he's Ben Barnes, he's still hot even with scratches on his face, but like, I don't remember that being a thing. Alright, the last section we're gonna be talking about is the season 2 predictions, or just things I'm hoping for. Okay, first of all, Nikolai, you gotta nail that casting. Like, you nailed casting with everyone else, so I just want perfect Nikolai. I am so looking forward to Nikolai. I love him so much. He's such a good character. I think he was literally the best out of all the contenders for Alina's heart, and I love Nikolai again. Great character. Really, really, really excited to see him. I'm really excited what we're gonna be doing about 6 of Crows, because I would just go into the first book now, because I guess they're not gonna have their own season, because that'd be probably strange. So I'm guessing they're now gonna go into the first book, and this 3rd season will be with the 2nd book, which I still need to read. So then it all lines up perfectly and it's done by the season 3. It seems reasonable to me. I am so excited, and they better do this, to see white-haired Alina. Ah, I am so excited. I love white hair. Not blonde, just white or silver. And like transformation. I love that, like physical manifestation of great power. I love it, love it, love it. And I really hope they do it. I actually thought it happened at the end of the 1st book, and I was so upset when they didn't do it in the show, but then I read Wikipedia and said it was the 2nd book actually. I was like, okay, fair enough, but you gotta do it. And yeah, curious what the Darkling's gonna do with the Shadow Giants. That's pretty much it. Okay, well, I think this is gonna be a pretty long one, but I'm still excited to talk about the show. Like I said, I loved it. I thought it did such a great job of being a show, of being an adaptation, just like so entertaining. I really, really liked it. I think it really stayed true to the books as well, which was really cool to see. And I don't know, let me know, what did you think? Did you enjoy the show? Did you not enjoy the show? What was your biggest gripe? What was your biggest improvement? For me, improvement, Mal, 1000%. Let me know, again, anything I said, just comment down below if you have thoughts. That's gonna be it from this review. Let me know what you think about. I never did a TV review before, so let me know what you thought about it. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it, because I feel like I've just been waffling for an hour. If you're new here, if you could like, comment and subscribe, I would really, really, really appreciate it. If you're not new here, please comment and subscribe, comment and like as well. But that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!